Guys, today we're talking about an extremely exciting subject. We're talking about Chinese social media, and in particular we want to cover a couple of platforms. We will start with the biggest ones: WeChat, Weibo, Douyin, RED, and then we're going to go to more niche platforms. And essentially what we want to discuss with you together is what is different this year? What has changed? Maybe some functionality, maybe some ways to market and promote. So what shall we as marketers and e-commerce people know, and how can we act on all this knowledge in 2021? So this is our topic today. So let's start with Syca. Can you tell me what is your favorite social media platform? And then just a brief introduction of what that platform is, and of course some beyond obvious insights into how this platform has changed and what shall people do on it in 2021. You can pick any platform that you love most.
Yes, thank you, Ashley. So regarding the platforms, I think my favorite one and the most used one is RED, 小红书. And actually RED, I think they're both. I think there are two ways.
Important and popular, especially right now, and they have recently lowered their commission to just 5% for all RED stores, which also essentially brought in more people onto the platform. When it comes to trends, can you tell us a bit more on how to actually, follow some of these trends on RED? How can you actually understand what do young, tech savvy, and essentially, women that are looking into overseas brands? How do we can understand their behavior better by being on the platform?
Well, actually, if you are registered as a RED user, you can receive various content of different kind of notes, such as the lifestyle, the food recipe, the traveling, where are the most popular shops in the city, and even for some knowledge, how can I gain a certificate in Cambridge? How can I find the most suitable course for my career improvement? So for the first step is the platform. It will automatically post you and update you with the most related notes that you are most interested with. And then for the second way is you can follow some users, like some KOLs or KOCs, and these people, they will share very high quality content. So when you just following them, you can receive the most updated information, and also you can communicate by by comments, and by forwarding their comments and notes. So it is the way how can I observe those newest trends in RED.
Yes. Absolutely. And I also would like to mention that actually RED has more than 300 million registered users. So it's a huge platform, and monthly active users is above 100 million. And about 56% of their users come from tier 1 and tier 2 cities. And 72% of them are millennials. And this is the demographics that a lot of people, especially in makeup and food and healthcare and fashion and travel and of course baby products, are targeting. So these 6 categories, if you belong to any of these 6 categories, definitely get onto this platform. As Syca mentioned, you can watch trends, you can watch consumer behavior, but at the same time you can create some organic and KOL activated chamber effect. What is a chamber effect? It means when suddenly not just one blogger or one account is talking about you, like you have your official account or some other bloggers publish about you, but a few small bloggers and everybody's talking about you. So this person who is essentially your target audience, they are being not bombarded with information, but they are just hearing from you and about you from all these different accounts, and that creates chamber effect, and that is particularly easily created on RED. We have Estelle here with us as well. Estelle, what else? Do you have any insights on RED marketing specifically for 2021?
Yes, for RED, I think the videos on RED are very popular because
RED is for sharing, for recommendations, for between acquaintance or middle-sized KOLs. So they usually share pictures and texts, and in 2021, I think that the percentage of short videos will increase.
Absolutely. And short videos is the name of the game for all social media platforms in China right now. Everybody prefers video right now, and sometimes even longer format video is trending as well. When it comes to brand accounts, I also would like to mention that when you register a brand account, it can actually get officially certified. So you get this tick as a verification tick.
Yeah.
You can publish content, you can interact with your fans, you can also have access to data, so you can understand your users a bit better. And of course, you can also track your traffic conversion, right? When you put advertising or work with a blogger, how well is it converted? So all that is tracked. It's not very comprehensive analytics, but you're still getting meaningful analytics. If you would like to purchase some additional tools to get more insights into this analytics, then there are also a variety of providers available. And when it comes to content, I think that, as you said, videos are very important. Beautiful pictures are also very, very good. So basically sharing this kind of creative insights, right? Sharing new brand launches, sharing your brand story. All these are very important storytelling elements. And then interacting with fans is very, very important. For example, through hashtags, creating a hashtag topic, creating campaigns, sending them also private messages as a brand account, and also have these exclusive fan benefits. I think especially in 2021, that would be a very, very important way to interact and market with them. And in terms of traffic conversion, there's tons of advertising options. For example, live streaming, there's a wow card where you can essentially have this kind of cover screen ad this year. And of course, there's also a lucky draw tool, which is very similar to what we have on Weibo. Essentially, we can launch a lucky draw campaign, and then automatically the winners are going to be chosen based on the rules that we have predefined before. So yeah, this is our brief on RED in 2021. So let's move.
I have one thing
Please
to
go
add.
ahead. Please go ahead, Estelle.
Yes, for RED, there is a very popular marketing tool called Brand Zone. As you said, that more and more brands, they create their own accounts on RED, and they usually they will drive traffic to improve the exposure of their notes or videos. But there is one popular marketing tool called Brand Zone. That means you can buy a special ad when you search anything about your brand, especially the name. It will just pop up the official account, and under the official account, there is a little card. It will show your most popular products, or your promotion, or your campaigns. This is really helpful to drive traffic to your account.
Absolutely. Yeah. So understanding the keywords by which companies are finding you, and in your category as well, is also crucial. Actually, earlier today, I saw a friend of mine from Kung Fu Data, Josh Gardner, publishing a beautiful graph on LinkedIn about Chinese name versus English name, and saying that luxury brands really need to make sure that they have a beautiful, nice sounding, and easy to remember Chinese name, because when you go into search on Taobao, on Tmall, you will see that the search for Chinese brand is at least, I would say, from my quick investigation into his brand, into his graph, is at least, I would say, 4 to 10 times more. So people are searching, obviously, Chinese keywords and Chinese brand names rather than English ones. So it is very important for all brands, not only luxury in China, to have the proper name, and also not just your brand name, but you need to understand the keywords. You need to understand, in China, it's very common and very popular to have the brand nickname, right? So the nickname for the product or the nickname for the brand. So you need to understand, how do your customers actually call you behind your back? And then you can also target it as advertising. And RED is one of the good platforms to run such types of advertising. Awesome. So RED is... Yes, Syca, go ahead.
Actually, yes, and just now we've mentioned like keywords and the chance, and I also would like to mention a chance which is live streaming. like live streaming is the most trendy trend in China now, and most of the consumers they have like using live streaming to go shopping. And actually last year in August, Xiaohongshu, also named as RED, it also launched its video channel function. So it has recently put a bigger focus on the live streaming content because Xiaohongshu didn't want to fall from the trend. So and I would like to share a case study, which is Perfect Diary, because Perfect Diary is a very legendary brand. Actually, it was founded in 2016, and it only started its Taobao and Tmall business like in 1 year later in 2017. But this beauty brand, it became the top makeup brand in sales and achieved 1 billion RMB turnovers within like 30 minutes in 2019's Double 11 Festival. It is quite amazing, and actually Perfect Diary, they have using a lot of techniques, like they built their private tool, they invite tons of KOLs, whether it's head KOLs, middle KOLs, and the long tail KOLs. And besides all of that, Perfect Diary also use live streaming. So on one live streaming, it has more than 2 million sales for only one live streaming. It's quite astonishing. And I would just like briefly introduce you how Perfect Diary achieved that. So for the first step, the bloggers they've cooperated with, they will share the Perfect Diary product reviews, like to increase the traffic to the products. And step 2, they will release notice to warm up the live streaming. So before the live streaming, they will post some message to warm the users, the followers, that we are gonna have a live streaming like later. And then they will also use the lucky draw feature to attract those followers to subscribe to the page. And then the step 3 is they have this new product promotion. So you can buy one and get the second one with just $1 RMB. It's quite attractive for the consumers. And for the step 4, the live streamer, they will share their reviews, and the lucky draw interacts with the viewers at the same time. And for the last step, so the consumers, they can share their invoices and their posts to demonstrate the promotion as a successful one. So these 5 steps are their like the full circle of their live streaming strategy, which I think is also something that other brands can learn from too.
Absolutely. Yes. And all of that was launched on RED, right? So you are talking about live streaming on RED. Yeah. So in general, Perfect Diary is a great example of how to build a social brand. Of course, that not to say that they don't have problems. Their problem is it still remains to see whether the company can make money long term, because right now they are revising the way they are investing their marketing and advertising budgets. Previously, up to 80% of their essentially turnover would go back into advertising. So they would hire all these KOLs and they would go onto all these social platforms and they would build their private pools, which all takes a lot of time, money, and effort. So right now they are first of all understanding more and more and moving into the direction of building a stronger brand, and also they are moving towards a more sustainable business model. So we will see in the next 1 to 2 years whether this transformation is going to happen and how well this is going to go. But in general, the way they activated so fast, so quickly, and just literally swapped the whole market of young ladies that are interested in cosmetics, and they did all the right things to prepare the market and just grab their attention and grab their recognition and grab their dollars as well. Perfect. Is there anything else, Syca, Estelle, that you would like to mention when it comes to RED? And I think that means no. Guys, if you have questions specifically about RED, do raise your hand. I see Echo here, Toby, Pilar, Tom, Joey, and many others. Do raise your hand if interested in this particular platform. Meanwhile, let's move on to another platform. And this time, Estelle, would you like to pick your favorite platform?
Yeah, of course. I think I want to talk about WeChat. Yeah, of course, WeChat is the most popular social media platforms that we use most. It has more than 1 billion monthly active users. So when we're talking about social media platforms, WeChat is very important in this marketing campaign. So talking about live streaming, I want to say that many social media platforms, they have live streaming functions, and WeChat do it too, because it do it very at a very late time. But now it become very helpful for the mini program traffic driving, because which for WeChat live streaming, it is not as good as it did in Douyin or Kuaishou, but it becomes more and more popular. For 2020 New Year's Eve, just 1 month ago, 2 months ago, that a very famous head influencer called Wu Xiaobo did his New Year's Eve speech live streaming on WeChat, which is very famous and popular in the WeChat moment, because we can share the live streaming to our friends. We can share it to our WeChat moments. So your acquaintance, your friends, your families, they can all see it. And when they say you are watching this kind of live streaming, especially it's about knowledge sharing, not just buying or shopping. It's about knowledge sharing, and your friends will click into it. So it can help drive traffic on this big social network. Yes, that's what I want to say about live streaming on WeChat. I think it will be a big trend in 2021.
Absolutely, and I agree with you. As you mentioned, WeChat is... yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And for WeChat, we have many other new marketing functions and tools. And as the WeChat become it is the most widely used apps, so it becomes more and more diverse on different marketing tools. And usually the WeChat moments is kind of expensive but accurate marketing tools, because it sends the ads of brands to their potential customer accurately. So this is a very effective way to do marketing. And this kind of marketing tool become the forms of it become more diverse now. Except for just card ads, it can be interactive. Now it transformed into immersive experience ads to users. For example, many technology brands like that, DJI, they use the virtual tour to make the ad on WeChat moments, and to give the users a very immersive experience, and to improve the interactions with them.
And can you explain a bit more? What does it mean, interactive tools? Because people might be wondering, oh my God, what's she talking about?
Yeah, it's like it is a video or cartoon. You can click the button. You can slide the ads to get more information. You want to know more what will happening in the ad.
So basically, this is an interactive app, right? There's not just a video, but you need to tap on it, or you need to somehow interact with video. Sometimes you need to write a comment in order for the video, or for something to basically happen, open, and lead you somewhere else. So indeed, this interactive advertising has been quite interesting, and you can only launch them as a collaboration with WeChat. So many big brands are doing that, and they've been quite successful, with conversion rate being much higher as well.
Yes, because it's more interesting and funny, and unlike the ads that they put on on the roads or other place, because it becomes more funny. So many young users, especially young people, they would like to try and to see what's happening. So they click the ad as a higher rate.
Absolutely, absolutely, totally agree with you. So talking about WeChat, just to wrap up, and before we go to Syca, for this year, 2021, some numbers, right? It's 1.2 billion users, and of course, in terms of monthly active users, it's also over 1 billion. We have more than 20 million official accounts. We have more than 1 million mini programs. So you can see how actually big this platform is and how crucial. When it comes to people following official accounts, primarily it is out of interest, lifestyle, also some current affairs or education. Right now, by the way, when it comes to financial services and financial investment and fund investments, that's where young people are particularly, that's where they tick, that's where they are really interested. And WeChat, being the platform that recommends or talks about investment, fund investment in particular, is being quite prominent. In terms of the best ways to promote in 2021, in my view, obviously you need to take advantage of mini programs and really make sure that your WeChat is beyond just a marketing tool, that you are engaging with customers and building private pools. So that's the most important. There's no easy way. You need to take stairs for success. There's no lift. So it's very manual, but it does pay off. Syca, do you have any views? I see Arnold has also joined us. That would be cool to hear from him as well as a fellow China expert. Meanwhile, Syca, any insights on how to really make sure that WeChat is done right and the most successful way possible in 2021?
Yes. For WeChat, yes, it is truly the most used app among the Chinese because right now it's a chat application like between the friends and family, and also the brands. Actually, they are allowed to coexist in this space. But speaking of WeChat, I think for brands, one of the most important thing is they have to use the private traffic. Like they have to. Just like what you've mentioned, they have to use WeChat and to do it manually to keep this CRM customer relationship and to create really high quality content and to establish their unique official image. Because right now there are too many brands. They establish their official accounts on WeChat. But speaking of the content, for some brands, they will create very similar content, and actually those content, they are useless to those consumers and to the followers. What the followers are seeking for is an unique brand image, and they want to find a unique personality from this brand. And that's why many brands, they have established a customer service consultant as their CRM account, and then they can use this account to maintain a really good relationship with those consumers. So it is what we call community building, because WeChat is really important for those brands to start the community building and keep this community in a long run in a very positive, good way to contribute to the long-term conversion.
Yeah.
Yes, that's my point.
Yeah, this is beautiful. And I would like to mention, when we talk about kickstarting a community, especially on WeChat, definitely look at it as O2O. If you have pop-up stores, if you have offline presence, if you have packaging which displays a QR code and which gives a reason why people shall join your fan club, your community, why they need to go onto this app to speak with your concierge, then it truly then you truly understand how to loop WeChat back into your consumer journey. If that's just WeChat for the sake of WeChat, online, hanging there, doing something that the whole industry is doing, then it's very often the waste of time, money, and effort. I see we have more and more people joining us. If you have questions about WeChat specifically for 2021, please raise a hand and I will be very happy to bring you on stage. I see Jacqueline, I see Arnold here, also Feina China experts would be very happy to bring you on stage as well. Yes, we are joined by Arnold here. And hi Arnold, how are you?
Hey Ashley, how's it going? Good to see you again, or rather good to hear you again.
Absolutely, great to see you here too. As a fellow China expert and marketer, we are basically today discussing Chinese social media. We've just covered RED very briefly for 2021, and now we are on WeChat. Share your wisdom. Share your wisdom.
Thank you. I don't have any wisdom, but I do have a question, if that's okay.
For sure.
I was actually wondering, because you guys are talking a lot about WeChat, and it's obviously like one of the most used platforms in China. I was just wondering if you guys have any tips about user acquisition on WeChat, because we've always struggled with user acquisition. We use it as more of a service utility platform to build affinity and use other channels to acquire interest / users / followers. But I know you can't do it. It's just like a very difficult thing to do, right?
Absolutely. So in our experience as well, WeChat is definitely not a viral platform. It's not a platform where it is easy or cheap to grow. So the obvious route is you can invest in advertising. It's going to be very expensive, and unless the account has special features, really something interesting, it will be basically about 40% unsubscribe rate. So advertising is really I would say difficult and expensive and not very effective. Then there is O2O. So as long as you have offline stores, or you have pop-up stores, or you have something displayed in your packaging with a clear reason why people need to go to your WeChat. For example, go to WeChat to receive, to subscribe for something and get your instructions to how to get, your new speaker started, or go to watch, a video that explains you blah, 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 but you go there through WeChat. You need to subscribe to that platform, or go and get your, let's say tutorial. So then there is a lot of offline to online kind of user acquisition. The other way to do it, but I must mention that this is not really, it is violating WeChat guidelines, because any marketing related and done through groups is actually violating WeChat guidelines. So just a disclaimer out there. But another way to do that is you go to communities, and there are groups and communities that, for example, a lot of research companies, right? A lot of companies that actually launch consumer research, etc., they have those that have database of people that they can message, for example, that are new mothers, right? And they can message them in private groups, or they have their, other contact information, and they can say, hey, we can compensate you if you would like to take a survey, XYZ. So there are these groups, there are these companies that are operating private groups for specific interests, and you can collaborate with them to ask these people, for example, to try or test, let's say, a new sample of your shampoo or something else. And as a part of this, you will be distributing them samples, or you will be giving them some, educational videos, or you will be sharing with them some materials so they can give you feedback on them. And at the same time, the conversion rate from those groups, because they are very targeted, they are already interest filtered, is usually much higher than from the ads. But essentially, it's still expensive. It's probably going to cost you as much as ads, but the quality of users is probably higher. So there's no shortcut. You know what I mean, Arnold? I'm sure you, as a fellow marketer and China watcher, you know that already. But there are ways to do that, but nothing is obvious, simple, and straightforward.
Thank you, Ashley. Thank you very much. If you don't mind, I also want to ask a bit about WeChat channels. And I know it's kind of like it's not new anymore, right? It's been around for like more than a year now. But it's a feature, just for the benefit of anyone who's not sure in the audience, it's basically short form video on WeChat, kind of in the style of like a Facebook feed, or rather the Moments feed in WeChat. But everything is like short video focused. I've spoken to, like, from my experience, I've spoken to a lot of people like in our China office who use WeChat like nonstop, and a few of them have actually disabled channels as a feature, and the rest just say they don't use it because the content on there is not very good. but when it originally came out, right, I'm sure you felt the same, Ashley, and also Ian and Estella, that it might be like a way for us to start acquiring followers using like a short video format. But I don't know, like personally, I've not seen much traction in there, so I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts on that as well.
Yeah, I can share first, and then Syca and Estelle can talk about it at more length. But I would say for us, when it just came out, it was something exciting. Like a lot of WeChat features, you get really excited real fast, and then you figure out, it is half baked, and it's not ready yet. It's just really pathetic content. Unfortunately, WeChat is not the greatest platform when it comes to marketing, and they don't really. They know how to do chat rooms and tech stuff, but they don't really know how to make things very social and very sticky. So I've had a couple of colleagues actually publishing on channels on a daily basis, and I was thinking, wow, it's like, it's like Clubhouse, very new app. You go there, you put in the work, you share with the community, you create, and then you shall be getting traction and getting some followers and getting some people like you interested in the same topics. But no, it was literally you were talking to ghosts. So my colleagues were actually spent 2 to 3 months personally, right, working through their own channels, through their own video channels, and also managing some of the accounts that we're working with, but there were no results. And then it was ultimately, I think, pretty much abandoned by a lot of marketing communities out there. But yeah, Estelle and Syca, any insight on that?
Yes. As you said that you found that the content on video channel is not as good on other platforms, but with the more and more users using this channel and more users on WeChat, they will see that even they don't see that, their friends will see these kind of videos, and once their friends give a like on the videos, you will receive a message and you will see what your friends like, and it's kind of social relationship. So that's why even the content is not very in very high quality, still we have many users use it. And I think for brands, video channel is may not be the best way to drive traffic, because making videos is have higher cost and may not have so much users your audience to see it. But it's a good way to help the brands to build trust. Since you have a video channel, you have your own WeChat account, you have your mini program, you can make e-commerce, you can sell your products on WeChat. And when you have the video channel, you have the real one, you have a KOL, you have a KOC, you have a real person on the with your account, helps you explain your products, helps you convey your brand value. This really help to establish a good relationship with you and your customers, and cultivate some loyal customers. This will help your grow faster.
Yeah, so as an add-on to everything else you're doing, if you have a person in-house who is really doing it daily and producing these high-quality videos, that can help. Yeah. Great. Okay.
Yes, I agree. Yes,
Yeah.
I agree. Because just now Estelle has mentioned, WeChat is all about relationship and about this trust. Because right now, people, especially during this pandemic, people have cultivated this habit to watch short videos and to do live streaming and to go shopping on live streaming. They have already had this habit. So WeChat has to build and establish its video platform. And actually, if there is Douyin, there is Douyin, if there is Kuaishou, and there is also WeChat. And actually for me, I would have this preference to buy things from someone I feel familiar with on WeChat, because I trust this person more, and I know if there is something wrong, then I can find her. And also, in another way, on the introduction of this video account, you can add on your own WeChat ID there. So if the viewer is not your friend, he or she can also add your WeChat if she is really interested in your video content. So in this way, video account is also another way for the bloggers to gain followers and to gain potential conversion. Yes, that's my point.
So, and your point is it's good for brands, or it's primarily for this kind of KOL brands when it's done through personal branding and personal, recommendation?
I think it's good for brand and it's with high potential. Because if you don't do it now, then you might be lose much more in the future. Yeah.
Great insight. Thank you so much, Syca. Awesome. You see, breadth and depth of conversation. Always learning from each other. I've just now brought Vincenzo on stage. You raise your hand. You've got a comment. Please do share. Or if you have a question, please do ask.
Hey, no, I have questions. By the way, good to talk to you. Actually, we spoke over LinkedIn, and good to see you, Arnold. We met over Clubhouse, and email didn't seem to work, but we can meet again on Clubhouse. So I have a question. We built SaaS, and my question is whether you think that, building a little app on WeChat to our SaaS, we actually build a similar couple of SaaS. One is called share.view.com to share PDFs with links. Another one is called calendbook.com to share your calendar with a link. So I was wondering, my question is whether you think it's a good strategy to utilize WeChat mini apps to be able to sell your SaaS and expand expand that way. That would be my question.
Right. I can start, and then I think guys can comment. Well, I remember one of the most successful promotions on WeChat were actually educational promotion. I remember one in particular. It was probably 2.5 years ago, when there was an English education sector, English language center that was also helping students to basically go abroad, and they were educating new students in finding a job, etc., etc. So they essentially issued a huge guide. It was several hundred pages long, and it was all about how do you actually participate in the first job interview. And then a part of this guide was also how do you participate when you go and apply for visa to the US and there's an interview. So how do you essentially pass that interview? It was a huge guide, and it was shared again and again. The timing was great because students were just graduating, and it went just absolutely viral on WeChat, even though it is against, again, the algorithm that WeChat is running. So it really went very, very popular. And they were selling their service through first educating people. So in order to download that guide, you actually had to, input information and make sure that you get into their CRM, and then they would contact you to say, hey, do you need some coaching services on, how to find a job, or do you need some English services in order to go abroad to study, etc., etc. So it really depends. To answer your question, if you want to do hands-off WeChat, like we create a mini app, mini program, and then there is something happens on this mini program, and then people would randomly go onto WeChat, see it, and buy it right away. So there's no communication. It's not an assisted purchase. I think that would be very difficult, because the platform itself, again, is primarily for communication, and there is no immediate desire to buy, and people prefer to buy from somebody they know very, very well or trust on this platform in particular. So I think it would be difficult. You might try a few creative ways and see what works better and how high is the conversion and whether it makes sense. But if you are to launch a meaningful insight or product or something really, really comprehensive that people love, and people would be willing to submit some of their data, so you would contact them later on and do some manual follow-up, I think that is possible, and that WeChat mini program that can give them a file, for instance, and at the same time collect their information for future follow-up, that could be very effective. So this is my take, but what do you think? What do you think, guys?
Yes, I think for a WeChat mini program, it will be a little hard at the beginning to gain trust, to gain traffic from your customers. But it is a very complete ecosystem. It helps you to, for example, you have an account, you have a mini program, you have you have your own website. It helps to drive traffic for each other, and this kind of thing can help to shorten the purchase decision, the purchase time, the things for users. They can get to know your information from different channels, and they can if they once they have know more about your products, and they decided to find some information, or they decided to buy, it can help them to make the decision very quickly. And I think this is a very good thing to help your users to make decisions, to make purchases.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot. And like quick follow-up questions on this, if I can, if it's of interest.
Sure.
So if let's say you wanna, you end up building the mini app on WeChat, which I think from a tech perspective, so it's probably not that difficult. But from a legal and company perspective, I guess you can't just put your program up there on WeChat if you're a foreign company. You probably need to have a Chinese partner and have a company in China as well, correct? Or can you actually do it all from outside of China? What's the situation on that?
So you mean you would like to put your product directly onto WeChat and sell it directly on WeChat? Is that the question? While not having a BR and business presence in China?
Yeah, I mean, I guess not. I just want to double check that that's correct, right? So you need to have a company in China to be able to sell, through WeChat, through mini apps in China, right?
Well, unless you have a cross-border arrangement, yeah. So you can still open a cross-border, kind of shop and set up on WeChat, and then you don't need to have a China BR. But if you would like to receive payment through WeChat, which essentially you want to do, you either go through the cross-border arrangement, but you have an software. I would say that you would need at least to chat with their team to see how that works. I would imagine that you need either a partner or you need a local BR in order to be able to receive money for the software. They also will cross-check whether your software, whatever you are selling there, actually is compliant, right? Because a platform in China, unlike many other countries, is responsible for also advertising and the quality and the products that are being advertised on their platform. That's why they are a lot more careful. So if something's wrong, if, for example, your app or product is not compliant with the Chinese regulations and current government rules, then it's not just you who is going to get in trouble if you sell it illegally, right? But also the platform itself is going to get in trouble and is going to be fined. So that's my insight. Maybe somebody has, Estelle, Syca, Arnold, maybe you have more insights on this particular case, but this would be my best thinking to date.
Yes, I agree. And actually, at the past, it's not allowed for the overseas company to register for the mini program. But right now, it's already opened, and it has allowed like more than 160 countries and regions to register for this and develop this WeChat mini program. But it has some certain procedures that you have to walk through. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So hope this is helpful. And if no follow-up questions, then we're going to move to Nick. Nick also had a question about WeChat. Vincento, you was about to say something? I
was just going to say thank you, Sheshe. And yeah, I didn't know about this cross-border. Actually, I actually just sent you a link to that cross-border. Hopefully I got the right link. But yeah, this was very interesting and informative. I'll keep listening. I'm sure I'll learn more interesting stuff. Sheshe.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Nick, you had a question or a comment. Please share.
Hi. Good evening from Shanghai. It's wonderful to hear you live. I've mostly read your report so far, including the 600-page.
Wow, you are a man of great patience to read 600 pages, but I'm glad. I hope that you enjoyed it.
That's quite phenomenal.
Thank you.
My question is related to, I worked on a project for the last maybe 18 months with a video agency that was focusing on leveraging, essentially trying to do a more professional version, trying to do Douyin in a more professional way. In the way that agencies would do it, as opposed to, to like basically live streamers, people doing Turbo themselves, sort of without an actual agency setup. And in the meantime, and then something happened last week or earlier this week, which is that announced sort of Douyin launching their pay feature or announcing that it's going to come out. So how do you see that playing out? A lot of people say video is such a stronger media to get people to essentially do impulse buy.
Yeah. I think I was actually expecting that, because I believe that, you are in mainland China, you see that every day. China is all about building closed loop ecosystems. So we can see that on, Alibaba, we can see that on Tencent plus JD, we can see that on right now ByteDance, we're going to see that from Meituan Dianping as well. We're going to see that, most likely from a couple of other companies that are coming of age. And right now, as we have this antitrust laws coming out of China saying that, hey guys, we need to compete more fairly, and we cannot, force companies to collaborate with just one of you. So let's basically share the pie. So that would create even bigger variety of closed loop ecosystem. I'm not saying that we're going to have 60 of them, but we're definitely going to have probably a dozen of closed loop ecosystems, meaning they have their social media platform, they have their e-commerce platform, they have potentially their delivery, logistics, supply chain capabilities, maybe even manufacturing capabilities. We already see, for example, JD and Alibaba going that route. They will also, of course, have very strong AI and data analytics capabilities, and of course their version of, Tenpay, Alipay, etc. So I would say videos are a great way to convert. Live streaming is a great example of that. I still see there are limitations. There are still issues, but within the next 5 years, when we move, closer towards 6G, when we move closer towards, less device-focused technology, but we can go online and watch live streams without a device in our hands, right? Something that makes us hands-free. And I'm sure that China is going to be the first country to actually roll it out and adopt it. I think that essentially this kind of live interaction, video, but live video, selling, educating, entertaining all at the same time, and doing it within ecosystem, be it ByteDance, be it Tencent, be it Alibaba, is essentially where the whole market is going. So there's no escape. It's just the beginning. And I personally find it very, very exciting. So good for Douyin. Currently, they are not great. They're definitely not e-commerce. Most of their purchases are below 100 RMB. The ones that, they have a lot of sales, but volumes are high, but value is very, very low. It is impulse buying, primarily people at night looking at some snacks or some really, really small kind of, toothpaste things and tiny cheap gadgets. But as market matures, I think that there is a lot of potential for bigger ticket items as well.
Yeah, I have something to add. For the reason why the videos have become so popular, become so powerful in selling products, I think it's about the account personification. It's about social relationship too. Why the text and pictures cannot have such powerful ability to selling products? It's about that the KOLs or KOCs in the videos that they have build a relationship with their audience, so it helps to selling the products. That's why Weitao on Taobao, they are trying to use videos too when they are publishing the information about new products, and that's why the live streamers on Kuaishou, they have high volume of sales, because they have very, very sticky fans, because they build relationships with their audience. through videos or live streaming or something like that. So I think video is just a carrier or a way to help you to really cultivate a loyal relationship with your audience. Yeah.
Nick, is it helpful or is it a bit off your question?
This is great, thanks. I was actually also wondering do you have a view on currently, before Douyin released the pay feature, which platform collected most of those payments? And in other words, who stands to lose if the payment now takes place on Douyin?
So,
I think.
oh, please, Estelle, go ahead.
Yes, Douyin is doing its own payment system right now. I think it is very it's very important for Douyin because as more and more people they do their shopping on Douyin, the transaction value, the whole amount is very big, so they cannot just rely on WeChat or Alipay. That's why they do their own payment system. But I think the most party may be the WeChat or Alipay because they have very high market share right now. But if all this kind of e-commerce or short video platforms, they have their own payment system like Douyin, Kuaishou, they have their own payment system. This will affect their market share, and users have to switch between different platforms.
Yeah, and I would say that actually when it comes to specifically Douyin, I think WeChat is the biggest loser, WeChat Pay. But at the same time, let's not forget that China's digital currency is right now being, in full swing and being rolled out across the country. So let's see how that is going to also reshape or not reshape China's online payments landscape. I think that it will have a significant effect because essentially you don't need internet to pay using this digital RMB. You also don't need to be on Alipay or WeChat Pay or DouPay or whatever. So what you need, and I think what China government is going to do with this digital RMB, they're going to require all these platforms, including, Taobao, including WeChat, including Douyin, RED, etc., to accept digital RMB as a checkout method, and that would be a game changer. So let's see how that actually sticks, and how this will shape up this year and next.
Yeah. Hi, Nick. This is Jacqueline. I would like to just a little bit add in regarding your questions that I think you asked. Your first question is about highlight moments, 高光时刻 on Douyin. That's as a brand that you can when you after the live streaming, you can use these materials to do the recording to count it as a short video to do the to create a short video content on Douyin, which allows you to use this short video to do the remarketing, so that allow the people who don't have time to watch your live streaming and they are still able to purchase your products after when they got chance. And in another word, apart from the live streamings, this kind of short video can still help you to do the preheat for your next round live streaming. So I think this is very helpful for a brand regarding the marketing. And then when it comes to the way the payment happen within the Douyin this system, actually right now Douyin work with the Alibaba ecosystem most. So which means they work with Taobao, 168. So as of influencers, you will be able to put the links from the 168, and then you can sell your products. So they actually work with the Alibaba, Taobao, Tmall most.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jacqueline, for adding. Very valuable, very valuable. Nick, have we answered collectively your question?
That's fantastic. That's great. Thanks.
Awesome.
Really amazing to have you live as well. Thanks for hosting.
Thank you so much. Thank you for getting on stage. Right now, I see Syca, you've also risen your hand, and I'm inviting you on stage right now.
Perfect. Thank you. Hi, Ashley.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. Good. Doing great. Thank you very much. Awesome discussion. I was also following your discussion, I guess it was yesterday with Theo also very interesting.
Despite the fact that we were thrown out 150 times.
I don't know, because maybe Elon Musk was again, speaking out. I don't know. But actually, my question is, I've been following, a lot these kind of social media platforms in China. We are running a recruiting agency, and we're always trying to reach out to our candidates through different channels and platforms. Is there any social media app used by headhunters in China to reach out to their candidates? Or
oh, absolutely, absolutely. Well, there's a beautiful platform called Liepin. And I think Jacqueline can be a perfect person to talk about it, because we've just now finished a big campaign for one of the clients when it comes to Liepin, and she is on top of their latest updates and collaboration. And of course, apart from Liepin, just as a general intro, there's also LinkedIn that is operational in mainland China. It's not exactly the same app. For example, when I publish my videos on international LinkedIn, then it is visible to the audience, but in China, videos are not accessible. So there are also some differences in where the data is stored on Chinese servers or outside of Chinese servers. So the wall is not exactly the same, but essentially the app is there. And I would say, LinkedIn is not... people are still active, especially those that are working with international market, or if you are in recruitment and you're recruiting specifically for multinational companies, then I would say a lot of your people, your target audience, must be on LinkedIn as well. But I truly must invite Jacqueline right now to share about Liepin if she's still available. Jacqueline, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. So, Liepin is the China's biggest hiring platform currently. So, if you basically they have a different industry, so you can go to your industry to find the right people, and you also can do the advertising there. So they have a lot of banner placements, app placements allows you to target the right people. For example, if you you from the train industry, that you can go to the Dongguan, this region which have the most training company there.
Perfect. So there's there's advertising option. There is basically some private group options, if I'm not mistaken. And sometimes the platform can even help you send private messages to people that are looking for jobs. And it's an interesting platform to explore.
Nice. Thank you very much. I will check it out.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Simak.